She's considered far more radical than Bernie Sanders. That's all you have to know. Far more radical.
Well, then why did even her Medicare for All initial plan, was it a longer timeline of like 20 years as opposed to 5 or 10, which was Bernie's system? And then why did she give up on it if he's still, whatever?
And she picked somebody that's far more radical than Bernie Sanders. He approved a bill recently, tampons in boys' bathrooms. He wants tampons in boys' bathrooms.
And all bathrooms for kids that might need them. And therefore, if there's a reason why, let's say, the girls' bathroom, beyond the trans issue, girls' bathroom is shut down or whatever, and they have to have a teacher standing there and going, hey, we have to use it in shifts. The girls in, now boys in, girls in, now boys in. There'd still be tampons available. Seems reasonable.
It's terrible.
It is terrible, right? Why no young person who has a vagina should have access to free tampons. It's gross.
Terrible, but
It's terrible. It's so terrible. It's terrible. Boys are going to start using them for the wrong hole, and what will that lead to? Mass constipation on campuses, and idiots like me running around with them stuck in our noses, going, what? I had a bloody nose. It works like a charm.
person that she picked, surprising pick to me, I was shocked. He's also got one of the worst run states.
Thank God. I was worried what he was going to say.
People are leaving the state, sixth most. And from her state, she destroyed San Francisco. She destroyed, as the Attorney General, she destroyed California along with Gavin Newsom. And she, San Francisco, you know, was a great city 15 years ago. Now,
all right. San Francisco was a great city 15 years ago when he was mayor and she was the DA. "15 years ago, it was great when Gavin Newsom was the mayor and she was the DA. It was great during the time period that they actually ran the place specifically.
Considered almost unlivable. You can't live there.
Well, there's a lot of people who are alive there right now.
And what they've done to that great state with the beautiful weather like this weather, they have this weather
Yeah, we're trying to keep the weather.
all the time. And they have the ocean, they have the sun, they have everything good.
Yes, the ocean, the sun, everything good. Oh, I know what he means. No snow.
What they've done to it is a shame, and she's going to do the same thing to our country. It was
Sorry, make it. I mean, it can't rise in its. Yeah, it can't be higher than the #1 economy in the world. But I mean, you mean that kind of change, or you mean like Bakersfield kind of a change?
policies. They had a recent article, and I didn't know this, but you're allowed to rob a store as long as it's not more than $950. Has everyone ever heard of that? You can rob a store.
No, you cannot rob a store at all. Just saying. They're just going to try diversionary stuff up to $950, but it's still illegal. You're still going to go to jail. Yeah. The cost of what you like need to live and that kind of stuff, especially when it comes to like medications and salves and that kind of stuff, that there's a tendency amongst truly homeless people to steal things that are like salves and ointments and those kind of things, which can be increasingly expensive. So they raise the number from like 600 to 950. But you'll still go to jail. Yeah, you steal shit, you're going to jail.
And you have these thieves going into stores with calculators, calculating how much it.
No, they don't. The thieves don't care. They just go in and swipe a bunch of shit and run out. Yeah, they just take. They're not guessing at all. They're just bagging shit and blitzing. That's why the ones you're talking about are specifically the people who are in these giant organized crime gangs. And I don't know why I'm even arguing this shit.
Because if it's less than $950, they can rob it and not get charged. That was her that did that.
No.
Harris is campaigning on the largest tax increase in American history, including ending the Trump tax cuts, one of the largest tax cuts ever in our
One of? What kind of bullshit? This is the biggest tax cut ever. What do you mean one of the largest? Why don't hide your light under a bushel? Do not. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, baby, I'm gonna let it shine. I passed the biggest tax cut. It'll blow your fucking mind. Go way beyond the Lord. Yeah, why would you all of a sudden be like, yeah, this is, she's gonna let this expire, but even one of the good ones. Oh, because you're trying to make the tax increase that they've been talking about on billionaires and millionaires specifically look larger by downplaying the size of your eyes to the expiration of, right, sure.
Country's history. And working with families, a gigantic capital gains tax hike they want, and a new wealth confiscation tax. It's called wealth confiscation tax, which isn't going to make all of her supporters.
No, it isn't.
She's got some supporters that are wealthy people because they're stupid people, but they're wealthy people.
Yeah, there's a lot of stupid, wealthy people. I've heard of that. I'm not familiar. I mean, I don't know what example I could give as far as people who are like wealthy and stupid. Usually, those kind of people are like, they're stupid and they're wealthy, but they're wealthy because, they didn't make the wealth themselves. Their parents gave them that wealth, and they themselves are stupid. Don't know if everybody is picking up what I'm laying down, but I'm fairly certain there are stupid people that have a lot of money. I'm going to be so late.
She said that a 70 to 80% tax rate is, quote, a bold idea that should be discussed and studied. 70 to 80%.
On windfalls, which would be the windfall tax when people gouge prices. Short term.
She co-sponsored legislation to abolish very popular private health insurance, which 150 Americans rely on, dumping.
Really? Sorry, how many people?
Private health insurance, which 150 Americans rely on,
Wow, there are only 150 Americans that still have private insurance in this country? Geez, I don't know what to tell you. I'd say fuck them. Just 150. That sounds like a dying industry to me. This asshole's making the best argument for Medicare for all I've ever heard. We can't define the entire medical system in the United States for 150 people.
Popular private health insurance, which 150 Americans rely on, dumping everyone onto inferior socialist government-run healthcare systems with rationing and deadly wait times while massively raising your taxes. She wants to take away your private health care. There are many people.
No, private health insurance is what you're talking about here. That doesn't mean private health care wouldn't be a thing, obviously.
Country who spend a lot of money on private health care. It's the best health care in the world, by the way.
Well, it should be. The outcomes don't seem to bear that out, but
they want to do it. They worked hard to make money, and they want to do it.
Yeah, they'd worked hard desperately. They want to get cancer just so they can spend it on treatments that are more expensive here than they are in the Czech Republic.
Under her, you're not going to have private health care plans.
No.
And you can be a wealthy person or a middle-income person, and you want to spend on a really good plan, better than a government plan could be, far better. And you're not going to be allowed. You're all going to be thrown into a communist system. It's a communist system.
It's very communist. The whole thing's a communist system. Super communist. You know what I mean? Where, people can vote on it.
Thrown into a system where everybody gets health care. You wait for your doctor like 10 months, 12 months, 11 months. You got to see some of these plans how they work in other countries. It's disgraceful.
They work in some countries really well, though.
Healthcare is gone. She wants it out. Now, she could change on that, and she might change on that. She's changed it.
You also might be mischaracterizing what she's saying. I gotta go. I'm gonna be late for sound check. I gotta go. I get carried away talking to you guys and doing this, and I love you, and I gotta go. So tomorrow, radio will either be done from here or from CPT, depending on what they need. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get Johnny Million to come down and join me here at Rob's space, since my shit's all set up here. Hopefully he can make it, and that'll be good. And excited. And I got to go do sound check, and I'm gonna be late. Okay, all right. This guy, it's so weird when I can't do a whole show. I mean, and another thing, I gotcha. All right, hit that like, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Sorry I have to do a short show. Gotta go.